murky waters lies the headquarters of the most sinister villains of all time. The Legion of Doom.
Hey, how we all doing? As you see, we're still working on the new intro, but I am Chris. I am a newest additional member of the Brave and the Boys. But as you see, there is no Jake. There is no Jordan. Jake is enjoying a vacay out in the in Sin City with his wife, and Jordan had some work obligations, but we're not going to be alone. We will not abandon you for the OPB stream. We put out the bat signal, and we got two big time guest hosts to join me. That is, first to my right, would you say your name, sir?
Of course, I am Dom of X, comicreleases.com assistant editor and guest host for today. I was just going to add that for the Brave and the Boys, because people ask, like, who's the Brave, who's the boy? You are the conjunction. You are the and that holds
I am
this
the
ship
and.
together.
Okay, I am the and. I'm the one that keeps them all together.
Exactly. And that's an important thing, because you can't have a bridge. You have two tent poles, right? You can't. You need something to join it together, or else that bridge isn't going to work. So,
and that is why you're back in school, because you are the smartest among us all.
I don't know about that, but I try.
And last but certainly definitely not least, despite what Jake says at that point, that is Mr. Omnidog himself.
Heyo, what's happening, guys?
We are here. We are here to talk comics. We're here to talk weekly releases coming up, because this is a big one. This is a big week. The week before American Thanksgiving at that point. So we got a lot of books to talk about.
And you wanted me. You were interested in possible haulage?
Yeah, talk about what I've got. Some haulage at that point.
Be right back.
I will start. I cannot. I know he's watching, and we're all taking bets, and if he's actually going to join in live from Vegas at that point.
He
so
can't help himself.
But this one right here is
Batman Second Chances.
Yes, Batman Second Chances. Gifted, very graciously gifted by Jake to complete my collection.
Oh, nice.
That's so cool. Very much, I cannot thank him for gifting this, and Jordan for shipping it out to me. It came very, very quickly. So,
and now you are indebted to Jake for the rest of your life, and he will not let you forget it.
Absolutely not. He never lets me forget it, and that's okay.
No.
I can live with that.
3 times a day, he'll be asking you for validation, just so you know what you're in for.
That's okay. I've had far worse debts to pay. So, and picked up this from OPB. We 3.
Oh. That's the deluxe.
Yeah, that's the deluxe edition. It's the DM
Nice.
cover. I held off for years ever ordering it, and actually when it came out, I said, all right, and read it very quickly, and very sad, but very good. So,
yeah. Okay. Nice.
And then Punisher Max, DM cover.
Have you ever read that before?
I've not read Aaron's run. I've been mainly a NS person, so I'm excited to get into this.
This was, I think, the best, most creepy depiction of Bullseye ever. It is super realistic.
Now you have my attention even more.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
And I know, Jess, I said that I wasn't going to do this, but Omar's overview with the... Oh, who's...
I just...
Oh,
2 minutes! I knew it!
2 minutes!
Did he thank me for the book?
I
'Cause
did.
I know he thanked Jordan for the shipping, but I wasn't
told
sure if
you.
he thanked me for the book.
I did thank you for the book up first. Absolutely.
Okay, then I'm good. I'll see you guys later. Have a great time.
See, I told you, he can't help
How on
himself.
brand to even have the Batman polo?
I know.
too,
Look at that.
It's
My
crazy.
And I
wife
got
said
the
I could
intro.
wear it for the 2-minute pop-in, and then she's making me change when we go outside.
And Chris, you
Okay,
can count on text messages tonight at 8 and 11 from Jake, and probably once a week for the next year asking for more validation on getting you that.
I'm
second
happy to
sample.
give validation. It's okay. We can do that.
Yeah, you're an school administrator. You know how to handle these kind of kids.
I try.
He
Go enjoy.
tried!
Go enjoy Vegas. Stop talking to
Okay.
us.
Have
Go
a good
enjoy
one, guys.
Vegas.
Bye, guys.
I-
Bye, everyone.
I will show you what he had for breakfast.
Oh yeah, let's see that, and then I'll go. Show them.
That is one
Oh,
thing I make sure Jake always sends me is his indulgences because he can indulge like I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
So tell him what this is, Jake.
That was called the Elvis. It is a donut with peanut butter, peanuts, candied bacon, and then a banana cream pudding to dip on top of it.
That is an interesting design for it. I'm more fascinated by the design than what's actually there.
I think this looks awesome. It has a peanut butter coating on it too.
Yes, it does. And if
Is
it
that-
makes you guys feel better, that wasn't all I ordered. I also ordered a full order of pancakes.
Yeah,
So-
wait.
You
that
have to.
That had your
Who
wife
says
in it.
no? Who
There's-
says no to
Yeah, there we go.
pancakes?
There's a full order of pancakes.
Look at that. My man goes hard when it
Look
comes
at that.
to the sweet
Well,
stuff.
he's
I
on
love it.
vacation. They've earned it.
Calories don't count, but okay. I trust you guys. See you guys later. Have a good show.
All right. Good
That's
luck.
a mistake to trust us, but yeah, okay. We'll have you canceled by the end of this.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
He's in Vegas, so but hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, but we're not.
Except for the debt and the money you lose, that follows you home.
I thought you said you had no money. You told me. I told you go
You
buy
know
some
what?
stuff,
We're
and you said you have no
actually
money.
we're up $200.
Okay, walk away.
We've been doing the
Yeah.
quarter bets.
Walk away now.
Walk away.
Is it all
sure.
downhill from here?
Yeah,
don't
it's
think I'm
literally
not-
all downhill from there, dude.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Okay. I'll say my catchphrase: peace and love.
Shut up, jerk.
So, because of Omar's overview of this, and it revealed to have letter pages, I took the
Oh.
dive. The letter pages is what got me. So now I can finally say I have the. I'm glad it's titled "Hard Traveling Heroes," not "Space Traveling Heroes." That's the only appropriate title that I can call.
What it is space taking up Omni.
Yes, but last but certainly not least,
Oh, it's the Batman.
it's the Batman.
Wow.
It's the Batman. And what got me to do this is I cashed in some commissions and some gift cards and got this for a very steep discount because of that.
That thing
So
is worthwhile, I bet.
It was. It is definitely worthwhile, and I love. I think Jake said it best. This is as close to original art that I'll own in this size.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
very
Very
cool. So
nice.
that is my haul for this week. What about you guys? What you got?
Let's see. I think I'm going to have to separate old haul from new haul. I think I got it. Yeah. I got Lonesome
Here.
Hunters by Tyler Crook.
See if I can do this appropriately. How can I highlight you?
You
It's
click
the little
on the top right, three corners, and then there should be like
top
a
left?
little, yeah.
Top left. Oh, there we go. There we go.
yeah,
Perfect.
and just leave it like this for the rest of the show. Thanks.
Okay, we'll do.
Tyler- Tyler Crook, Lonesome Hunters Deluxe Library Edition. So it's
Okay.
quite. I'll show you how big it is with my other purchase, Justice League Elseworlds,
Very
Volume
nice.
2, Volume 3. So this is it for that.
So happy they brought back Elseworlds line.
I know, and in chunky, a lot of these were out of print, so it's
Mhm.
really cool for Batman and Superman and Justice League. And this is Tiny Onion's work on the alien abduction UFO sightings. This is
Blue Book.
Yeah,
Blue Book 1947.
I've heard from both of you. Very, very good stuff.
1961 was really good. And so I'm looking forward to reading this.
Can't say no to Michael Avon Oeming art either. So
Yeah, that is good stuff. I loved him on Powers.
Yeah, so it's got a cool color palette.
Yeah.
And then, oh, actually, I have a challenge for Dom, but I'll get it in just a sec. This is Barbaric Volume 4,
Okay.
which I love, even though I've only read the first two. Charles Burns' Final Cut.
okay,
Nice. Oh, look at that. That is. Does it have that kind of a felt red to it, or is it just the
Yeah,
coloring?
good pickup.
Okay, very
Yeah,
nice.
it is. It is textured.
Very.
I don't think
nice.
it's felt. It's
But like you said, textured at that point.
it is
yeah.
textured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice design.
Then I got some albums from one of the lead singers of the fantastic shoegaze group Lush. This is Emma Anderson's solo album called Pearlies.
Okay.
I haven't played it yet. And then several groups took and remixed the entire album and gave their own spin on it. And this is called Spirally. It's these songs remixed and done by different groups.
Great design choice for the album cover too.
Yeah. So this is the very cool, but very much a genre shoegaze that I love. And let me get this one thing that I want to see if Dom can figure it out, because I couldn't, and Dom's better. I did not buy this week, but I did find it and highlighted it. This is a great cover, but who's the artist, Dom?
That's a good question.
I didn't get it at all. I was really surprised by it. I love it. I bought it because I love it.
It's a little Amanda Connor-esque, but it's not Amanda Connor.
It's definitely not Amanda Connor.
Yeah.
Even though I could see
Amanda
where
Connor. It's Amanda Connor.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
my goodness.
There you
All right,
go.
I nailed it. Nice. I was about to
Well,
say there's the
got
dog
it.
is what threw me.
Did you nail it though? You said it's very Amanda Connor-ish, but it's not Amanda Connor.
Well,
both said-
the only reason I said that is because the dog, the Catwoman was very much Amanda Connor, but okay, now that I see it up close like that, yeah, okay.
I
Yeah.
still don't see the Amanda Connor in this. I was really puzzled. I had to Google it.
Oh, I think it's because Paul Mounts, the guy who colors her, usually use a different type of palette than he usually does on her art, which I think is probably what threw you off. Like the fur detail and textiles, it's not usually reminiscent of anyways of his more modern coloring anyways.
But I love this cover.
Nice.
I mean, Crypto giving Catwoman a big old lick. I love that. And then I've started collecting Frank Cho. This is obvious. You would already get this, but Frank Cho's doing a bunch of these kind of variants for Catwoman. And so I'm going to collect those, even though I don't have room and I can't afford it. This was a 1 in 25 that I got for $15, and I just love this. It's ballpoint pen,
Yeah.
and he's incredible. So there's a whole series of these I'll be picking up. And then Kane, the fabulous Kane from New Jersey, went to the New York Comic Con and got me this
Nakayama.
Wow.
signed by David Nakayama and personalized.
Hey, that's, I mean, if anything to be personalized, it's a cover with magic on it for Omnidog.
Right? And same thing with Wonder Woman. She said this was a New York
black and gold.
Yeah, this was a New York Comic-Con exclusive, and he also personalized it, and this cover is boss.
Nice.
Very nice.
And
then Kane, lovely for her to think of me. She got me Harley Quinn Black, White, and Redder, and got one of the writers in here to say, to just AKA Omnidog. Do you know who's
that's Chip.
Right? So she said she had a nice conversation with Chip.
James saying a new game show idea for either Omnidog or an MC. Name the artist.
I've already got that game show. It's every collected editions once a month with Dom and Chris. So get rid of Very Fine Condition. He has nothing to do with this. I've already got Dom signed up, and it's Chris, but it's actually Dom. I always show Dom because he's I think I've only that Amanda Connor one kind of stumped him, but then there was only one other one, like out of the 25 that I've ever showed him. I think he only has missed one. I love playing that game with him. So that's fun. Because I'm playing a game on the air with him, I can write those off on my taxes. Perfect. I'm going to quadruple buying habits. That's Jake
Ev-
math right there.
everything's a write-off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome.
That's
haul.
Jake math.
Awesome haul. How about you, Dom? Got anything to show off?
I do. I have I think one thing just in particular. And it is the DC versus Marvel omnibus. It finally came in last week. That I want to do a video essay on, not even an overview. Actually, there's one thing that I'm kind of sad about the Omni is that like it doesn't have Marvel versus DC in it, like the 4-issue series. I don't think it's in here.
That would be probably Amalgam then. That should be under the Amalgam, I think.
Let me see if
what'd they ask for you? Did somebody ask you to do? What'd you say you were going to do on it?
I want to do a video essay on it and talk
a video
about
essay. What's that? Is that different than a review and overview?
Oh, it's one where like you how do you describe it? You talk over the microphone. You don't like look at like the book and stuff. You do special like videos and graphics on it.
I'm
like
out.
a lot of YouTube.
You got that market for yourself. If it's any editing, you got it, but to yourself. It sounds fancy though. Video essay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do it. But yeah, I got that. And yes, you are right. It is in the DC versus Marvel Amalgam Age omnibus for DC versus Marvel.
Whenever they want to drop that, maybe the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year. Who knows?
I got it 12/31. But yeah, I also got this. Which I did.
Nice.
Look at that.
Overview of it on my channel, and Justice League should be coming in today as well. But yeah, man, I am fully on board with this whole entire line, and I want more.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna get it. So I'm gonna do my best to catch up on the chat real quick before I start queuing up on this. So we got. Is that next magnet?
Next to Maginot.
Next to Maginot. There we go.
Okay, I'd like to hear him.
Yep. Fear Monarch. We need a taco order to fill the time. Chris Kaufman, incredible. Was tuned in 1 hour. Made it at the beginning. Excellent. Rogue Hideaways in the chat.
Welcome.
Korriban Hideout. Looking at, I think they were catching up on the pictures that James approves the says waffles better than the pancake.
Oh,
and yes, Taylor, I did go in on the year one. It is gorgeous. I've got a debate though. I've got to see if is it gonna rival the Extremity signature I've got. I've got to do that comparison. Mr. Awesome's in the chat. Korriban's time for Amalgam. Richard liking the hoodie, the Ben Reilly hoodie. You can get that at Hot Topic. Am I getting the new Scarlet Spider Funko? I dabble in Funkos. I do have the one from Across the Spider-Verse. I do have that. That I do have. So Vanessa is there.
Hey, nerds. Hey, Vanessa.
Hondalorian there. Here for the cool topics. And according to Jess, the cancellation of Jake too, right? All right, so caught up in the chat, and so what do you think? Is it time to?
It's time.
Time to get.
Let's
into
roll
this?
through. Autobots roll out. Let's go.
Autobots roll out. So we have a huge week, everyone, and would be amiss to say, again, you can get all these lovely books from organicpricedbooks.com, and if you use. The lovely, if you're buying one or three books, $2 on Organic Price Books using Braveboys. And if you're buying 4 or more books together, shave 5% off with Braveboyssit. So use those lovely
shave 5% off your order. Off that receipt.
Shave that. Shave it off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first up, we're starting with a reprint. And if you've heard Jake, he has a lovely story of how he finally when he got duped as it were to get what he thought was an absolute justice. It was not.
He didn't he What? Oh, and he ended up with like world's greatest superhero.
World's Greatest Superhero. It was the slipcase of justice, but not justice itself.
And then I think, didn't he get a janky copy or something?
He did. Yep. He got a very janked copy. He still has it. So, because it's a good story.
This was like he only finally found it after like 3 tries. I think he got sort of scammed almost on eBay twice before he finally found it.
Yep, I'm gonna click slideshow so everyone can see it. Since you guys may just have to call out the chat, so chatters, I'm the only one right now that can open and close the chat, so that you'll just gonna be lovely called out by our guest hosts. All right, everyone good now? Full screen.
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, perfect. All right, next up, we've got Amazing Spider-Man by Zeb Wells, Volume 11, Going Green. So you might be seeing a slight spoiler because you see him holding Green Goblin, but that's not who is in that Green Goblin holding him up, though.
I'm gonna call this Saving Green because I'm not gonna buy this, and I'm gonna be saving my money.
Yeah, I've not been a fan of Zeb Wells. I like him on other titles, but Spider-Man has not been great. Have you been dabbling into Zeb Wells at all, Dom?
You know what? I think I'm one of the only people who can tolerate the title. I actually don't mind it as much as
Wow.
I think as much as you guys do.
I haven't even read it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm criticizing because everybody else has been criticizing it. And actually, I hate that when people don't read something and criticize it. So I have become that which I most hate. Those people, haters.
But I did actually, before I could jump on the screen, I did read the first issue of the Joe Kelly McGinnis, beginning of their arcs.
I am actually more so surprised that they haven't gotten anybody from the Brand New Day Brain Trust, not named Nick Spencer, to write the title. I think that's actually what I'm most frustrated by, is that the Spider Office post One More Day has not found a new voice for their book in a good long time, and might be time to do it, guys.
Yeah. I would agree with that. So, all right, we got an artist edition coming, Best of DC War. So as you see at the bottom, you look at Heath, Kirby, Kubert, Severin, and Toth. So basically, if you saw the Year 1 artist edition, maybe not as, basically around that size at that point, with everything focused on DC's War Years. And that is a great cover by Kubert.
That's Kubert?
I think it's Kubert.
Are you sure?
Take it.
You sure it's not Russ Heath? I actually
could
know
be.
for sure.
I don't know. I took
I
a
had
guess.
dinner. I ventured out of the house last night and had dinner with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up having to pay for my meal. I don't know where that came from, but my friends went to school with Russ Heath's daughter and son. They never got to meet him, but they're still friends, and she has stories to tell about her dad.
You're probably right. It's probably Heath.
I feel like it's Heath, but I'm also not 100% sure. But that cover's really cool.
Oh, so apparently it's neither of those guys. That cover is by Brian Bolland.
Oh. Okay. Guess that artist. We both failed.
They had somebody other than the artist.
They couldn't get the one good enough, so they got Brian Bolland to do it.
I'm glad he's able to draw still. I thought he had some issues. That's a great one.
Yeah. I mean, he's captured definitely a war-torn soldier. And as Dom said, his is coming today, hopefully. But yeah, DC's finest Justice League of America, The Bridge Between Earths, collecting Justice League of America number 45 through 72 from July 1966 to June of 1969.
Mike Sekowsky is the most underrated Silver Age artist in the world, and I will not move off of that mountain.
This is one of my favorite covers ever.
Mm-hmm.
That and the next one, Grown Up Robin on Earth 2 fighting. These are two of the best covers by Carmine Infantino, and I think maybe Anderson doing the inking. But gosh, these covers are great, and this is my wheelhouse of stuff that I grew up with.
I mean, what better way to start off their Justice League with these issues?
It's three crossovers or two-parters where Earth 1 and Earth 2 collide and they fight and or team up and figure out something to do. They take a long time to read. I tried binge reading it in Florida.
You're not going to binge read this stuff.
I can tell you, I remember like waiting in the airport, and that was like 8 issues until I finished all the contents in this book. And the person right next to me was like, "You have been reading that like one comic for a long time. These things usually take like 2-3 minutes to read." And I explained to him like how dense Silver Age stuff usually is, because you look at a lot of these books, like even on the front covers, they say novel on the front, and they're usually not just like the regulars. Like these are also, you get the main story and maybe a character or two that are thrown in there. They take a long time to read, so you are getting your money's worth with the $40, or if you save with Braveboys, you can get it for even cheaper than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a long time as far as you reading it is concerned. So
Yeah, because I mean, I remember you were talking. I can't remember, one of you, maybe it was even Jake, saying that even just looking at, you got to do with Superman the first issues at that point, but that's a slog.
Yeah,
That's a real slog to get through.
It took me like two weeks to finish the stuff in this book, and I don't mind it. I've learned to love it, but I'm also like, there's only so much my brain can tolerate before it's like, you need to read something else, Dom. So
it's an awful lot of exposition in those little boxes, those caption boxes. I'm used to it, but I totally get. I mean, those boxes just go on in every single panel.
So, back at the Hall of Justice.
But then it'll explain everything that's supposed to be happening, and then they say it, and I'm like, well, we've had it twice now. But I have a bad feeling that I'm going to end up buying all of these DC Finest books.
We got to tell. Thank you, Jess.
Yeah, I saw Batmantha in this, I think, earlier. I think she's also. See, did I see? Yeah, there she is at 407. I saw Batmantha. I have she said she's probably going to be getting all of these too, and
it's a great idea for them. If this is their DC's answer to the epics, then they're doing a great job. Now, let me ask you this: since I will not be diving in for these, is it just straight stories, or do they have any extras with them?
So they have variant covers with like, for example, the Wonder Woman one. They put all the variants like in between in sequential order. As far as the extras are concerned, there are very little to none. If there is like extra stories, they do pin them in. Like, for example, for the Superman one, there is a text story that Jerry Siegel did here explaining how Clark Kent's powers work and why he's super strong. They also have the in-house ads for like, get your kids eating cereal and get them to exercise. They throw those in there too. But that is, but the thing is too, like for 550 to 650 pages for $40, that's already a lot to reproduce. And they're not, Toshin books. They're not IDW artist editions, right?
Yeah.
So, you get what you pay for.
It's at the very least you get the story. I see James in the chat saying Peter M estimates it will be over 90 volumes of DC Finest Batman.
Oh yeah, no,
Then I'm not getting like 100. I am gonna. That's the only place I'm gonna be able to find my Bronze Age Batman with original Neil Adams stuff, because I bet it's gonna come out in DC Finest before it ever hits Omnibus.
Yeah, so, but it looks like Fifth of the Jack Gaming saying, he's with me on this one. It's not my kind of product, but happy to get some new entry points for people.
Yeah.
So moving on, we've got Dracula Blood Hunt trade paperback collecting Dracula Blood Hunt 1 through 3, Union Jack the Ripper Blood Hunt 1 through 3. out of all the Blood Hunt I read tie-in wise, these actually were not bad. These were actually, in my opinion, some of the better tie-ins to this event.
Danny
What
Lore's a
about-
good writer.
What about the main event itself? Is there? I haven't followed this at all. I'm just going to wait for the omnibus.
It was one of the better events, but
Okay.
still, Marvel, I think, has been lacking lately in knocking out of the park with events. I don't know. What do you think, Dom? Did you read Blood Hunt?
I did read the main stories along with the tie-ins that my friends recommended because they get review copies or whatever. So I'm like, sure, I'll listen to you guys. As far as events are concerned, I mean, I had fun with it for the most part. I'm also not gonna slack on anything Pepe Larraz is on because I love looking at that guy's art.
Yeah.
I do feel like people will be cheated out though, because I think the way to go would have been, I don't like my thing with the red band editions because I still have them. It's in my like pile, somewhere down here, and I really wish they just made the regular editions of these instead of getting or having them twofold with like the regular and then the red band or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. No, I agree with you with the red band editions like not being in there. That is a loss, especially for a thing talking about Dracula.
Those things won't be collected either. The red bands, right?
They will not. No, they will not.
I have to continue buying those floppies then.
Yeah, unfortunately, but that's their gimmick. So
yeah.
So next up, more with the Elseworlds to help you out. Jess was collecting those. Elseworlds Superman Volume 2 trade paperback, collecting Son of Superman, Superboys Legion 1 through 2, Supergirl Wings, and Superman True Brit. Now, I think out of those, I've read Superman True Brit, which is a interesting comedic take on Superman.
Wasn't that written with John Cleese from
Yes.
Monty Python?
Correct.
Oh, here's Bar. Hey, Bar. Love you too. Good to see you and good night.
Do we think DC? I think to answer Jen's, from everything that I've heard from both people with the knowledge as well as people who have been buying these on the regular, does look like it's at least here to stay for the next couple of years. I mean, I can't say anything as far as because anything can happen. We don't know what the future holds, but from everything that I've seen, it looks like this is going to be a good midterm, long-term project for DC to push as much of these out as possible. So, I mean, we're getting like one a week for the next couple months. So, if anything, they're at least committed to this front, even if we don't know whatever the long-term holds.
I think it's one of their best ideas ever. So I really hope the sales are, and I would think I'm just guessing, but I would think sales would be good on these. I hope they just continue to pump them out.
Yeah, I think it's a good choice for them. They should at least stick with it, even though they'll never tell sales numbers. I think that they see how well the epics run for Marvel, and they've been doing them for years. I don't see why DC can't.
And now Marvel's doing modern epic era collections and ultimate modern Marvel epic. Like it's crazy. Like it's. I want DC to succeed. I want them to win badly, and whatever I need to do to support them out, I'll do it.
There we go.
Shoot, man, I'll go down with the ship.
All right, here's the first biggie of the release, at least in my opinion. Green Lantern Corps by Peter Tomasi, Patrick Gleason, Omnibus Volume 2.
My childhood. And I love that this is also great for people who... So there are like 95% of people who are buying this have already bought the Green Lantern by Jeff Johns omnibuses or are planning to buy them. The nice thing about these is that if you're only looking to read Tomasi's and Gleason's and Passarins and everyone else who's worked on this, that that specific title, you're completely fine reading this as a standalone. I don't recommend it because you should read everything else because it is that good.
It is.
But if you are just looking to read GLC by Tomasi and Gleason because you have the money spared over or whatever, you will have it. Like this specific volume not only has War of the Green Lanterns, the crossover that leads right into the New 52, but it also has the Emerald Warriors, Guy Gardner-led series that's also in here that I was very surprised by. So, yeah, kudos to DC and Tomasi for pulling all of this off and putting it all together.
Yep.
These are.
Go
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm just very much looking forward to completing my collection of this. I'm so glad that they finished this run.
I had my Green Lantern Corps trades custom bound back in like 2016. So I have 4 big chunky things, and it makes reading Jeff Johns even better because not everybody can do this, but I had a table where I would be reading Jeff Johns, and then I'd find the not corresponding, but the story that in Green Lantern Corps that's sort of around the same subject matter or the arc. And it just made for such a great reading experience, reading them both together. You can read them both separately, but and you'll be fine. But I loved reading them both together.
Yeah, it's again, with Tomasi and Gleason, they just know how to weave a great tale, and they were the perfect pair to relaunch this idea of the cores. So
yeah, Gleason and Tomasi are my Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb combination. I think both those creative teams too. Like, you want to talk about like an artist who props up the work of the scripter. I mean, Gleason is the guy. And it's cool to see because like if you have these 2 GLC Omnis and then Batman and Robin and then Superman, you get to see Gleason's art evolve from what it was at the start in GLC Recharge up to, wow, like this guy can draw some book. And that's how he became my favorite artist. So for even in that, like just to have all that in oversized is a pretty nice thing to see.
It will be. So coming out the dropping this week. So next, we can't have Jess on and not talk about Harley Quinn. So Harley Quinn Volume 2, I Don't Like Me, trade paperback collecting issues 32 through 37. That is I hope that's the cover because that is a great cover if they stick with it.
That is. Uncle Chunt says, what about any overlap in this Omni? There's no overlap. The Jeff Johns and Tomasi books are completely separate, but they can be. But if you read them together, I'm not explaining it right. Somebody else explain it for me.
Okay, so for overlap on the Green Lantern Corps Omni, because again, you can read this standalone. This Volume 1 does collect the Sinestro Corps War, just like Green Lantern by Jeff Johns Volume 1 does.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Then.
This also, Volume 2 has some Blackest Night material that's also collected in John's Omnibus Volume 2. And Volume 2 of GLC also collects, like I said earlier, the War of the Green Lanterns crossover that spanned between Emerald Warriors, Green Lantern Corps, and Green Lantern that's collected in Green Lantern by Jeff Johns Omnibus Volume 3. So once again, if you are looking for something standalone, this works. But if you're also looking for a companion alongside your Jeff Johns omnibuses, it also works.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
There you go. He puts good things into words. So
yeah, that is a cool cover. I love that cover for Harley Quinn.
All the Harleys.
All the Harleys. Yeah. This looks boss.
And Jackpot and Black Cat trade paperback collecting the miniseries Jackpot and Black Cat issues 1 through 4 and Jackpot number 1.
You know what just made me? Yeah, that's Adam Hughes.
Yeah, great Adam Hughes covers throughout.
You know what? I gotta say real quick for speaking of Black Cat.
Yeah,
we got the McKay Black Cat and Mary Jane 5-issue series that wasn't collected in the omnibus. And I think McKay on Twitter said like, oh, he'll write more if Marvel lets him. And Marvel never let him write more Black Cat. So now we have that miniseries just lying about, never to be collected in omnibus format.
Just hanging out there unless you got the singles, right?
Yeah.
Was it collected in trade?
It was collected in trade, yeah. There's a Mary Jane and Black Cat trade paperback floating around there. But...
yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
that is
kind
odd.
of makes me sad because I'm like, man, it would have been so cool for McKay to write MJ and Felicia, like both doing like weird crimey stuff or whatever it is he wants to throw at him. Because like, but that's what it is.
I always make the joke the next Sony project is going to be a Jackpot movie. You know, because they're knocking it out of the park these days with other choices.
Don't let them do that to Black Cat. We need that to be in the MCU somehow, someday.
I think I'm keeping my fingers crossed along with you. I think they may grab that because what you need to have that love triangle, you know, between Peter and MJ. So
yeah, just have her be in a Spider-Man movie. They seem to be doing okay with Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I'd say so. All right, for you Masterworks fanatics, we've got Marvel Masterworks Werewolf by Night Volume 3. This is the standard cover, collecting issues 22 through 30 of Werewolf by Night and giant-sized Werewolf 2 through 5. And this is the DM version of that cover. So I do enjoy some good Werewolf by Night. I'm not a Masterworks collector. We talked about that last week, but I do appreciate because they allow the Omnis to exist. Any all Werewolf by Night fans?
This doesn't have Moon Knight in it, so
that's Dom's line. Doesn't have Moon Knight in it.
I think the next volume is gonna have Moon Knight though. So.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, Outsiders Volume 1, Planet of the Bat, trade paperback. This is the new mini-series since I think they just wrapped up the series
issue
itself.
11. Mm-hmm.
Yep, issue 11. That first issue, once that big reveal on the last page, I don't want to ruin it because it has a big connection to something that I was very surprised they were going that way with this. So you got Batwoman and you've got Luke Fox teaming up.
I've heard this book is great. I can't wait to read it.
It's a lot of fun. I was very surprised by it. This was one I was looking forward to whenever it dropped.
Who is it a spoiler for you to tell me who the drummer is there?
Dom, have you read it?
I've read. Yeah, it kind of is a
yeah.
Like the whole spoiler is like the pitch of the book. Like
okay,
yeah.
Okay, good. I know nothing about it, so okay, I won't ask.
Batwoman's being put into a very different, like a scenario in a team that she has never been put in before, at least in my opinion, and the idea of what she's going to do, knowing that it has no connection to Bruce or Batman at that point, was a selling point to her.
Okay, cool.
So, Popeye, Volume 4, Sweet Pea and Eugene the Jeep, the E.C. Segar Popeye Sundays trade paperback. This is the fourth and final volume of E.C. Segar's Popeye Sundays. So, I know, Jess, this is a pickup for you, according to Jake.
I actually used to love reading Eugene the Jeep growing up. He's so great. Look at that. He's so fun.
It looks like out of the Winnie the Pooh series, the Humble-Umpa-List.
Yeah. Popeye was great growing up. It's good that they're putting this out.
Yep, so that's the final volume.
I hated Popeye as a kid because he made me eat my spinach.
That's fair.
And this is another one I'm waiting for coming for me this week. Scalped Omnibus Volume 1, collecting the first half of Jason Aaron. I believe this was his first foray into DC Comics world. This was under the Vertigo, originally under Vertigo.
You know what? I think it's my favorite Jason Aaron book. If I had to pick and choose between any of them, I also think that his creator-owned work titles lend him more freedom to do whatever it is that he pleases, and I think the rawness of the book lends itself to those aspects, which is why I think it's so strong. I think the one thing about this omnibus, though, that will probably have people in a pinch is that the new DC Bullet logo, along with the Vertigo, like because of Vertigo's back, is going to make a lot of people mad about mismatching spines come next year when Volume 2 comes in.
Spinegate.
I'm not one for mismatching spines, but I know that there are people out there who feel different. So
and that's okay. I get it. I'm
just letting the people know.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah,
nothing short of amazing.
It's been a bit since I've read it, but I know, Jess, you had sold me on it a year ago to give it a try, and I definitely was. So what is the pitch?
What is the pitch? Cowboy DeShiel or whatever his name is. Well, I don't want to say that because that's a spoiler. You don't find out. It's about life on an indigenous people's reservation and an investigation into a corrupt administration that serves the reservation, and it is all centered around opening a casino there that would ostensibly help the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
But the real selling point is how, now I know somebody told me, I don't read anything on social media, that Jason Aaron actually got some shots taken at him, not literally, that about his depiction of life on the reservation.
He did.
Whereas to me, this looked like the rawest, most honest, and underreported type of living conditions that the Native Americans have. And it seemed, to me anyway, this seemed like really real. Whoever took the shots at Jason Aaron may know better than I do, but even if it's incorrect, it's still an amazingly compelling book with not a lot of good people in it.
Yeah,
like almost nobody is a good person in this book. Everybody's got an angle.
Yeah, James Abel said in the chat, Scalped was Yellowstone before Yellowstone was Yellowstone.
Oh, I've never seen Yellowstone, but it's complex and complicated with a few different, not complicated in a bad way, because he makes everything come together, but there's an awful lot of layers to this story and a lot of things going on. I think there were 5 deluxes, if I'm not mistaken. And the only reason it took me a long time to read it is because I kept going back and rereading it, because there are consequences in this book, like all the way through it. It's that's why I would just keep rereading it, because I'm like, whoa, what just happened? And then I'd have to go back and reread it. But I really I can't say enough about this book, except that it's very raw, and don't go into it thinking this is some kind of fairy tale ending, because it's brutal.
It is not a happy ending at that point in the fairy tale way, like you said. And the good thing is you won't have to wait long for volume 2. That comes out very shortly into next year.
Oh, good.
And on top of like everything you guys just said, like the like Aaron just heading it into it all, which is, it's a super heated subject. It's not something that, he's trying to dance around the bushes with. It's something that he, like, you don't see comic book creators ever delving into these narratives. So to have somebody do that, at the very least, there's something to be said of that, I think.
Yeah. So that is dropping this week. Then we've got, speaking of Marvel can't be done without necessarily having their own epics out there. So Spider-Girl Modern Era Epic Collection, Keeping the Faith trade paperback, collecting Spider-Girl issues 68 through 84.
Peace and love to Marvel. I will give them a Valentine for this, because it starts right after the 4th complete collection, and that's because I have the 4 complete collections, and they're starting. That's pretty. Usually a publisher would just start all the way over and go, but that is actually very considerate and thoughtful of them. And I'm not saying they're doing it just for me. Okay, yeah, they're doing it just for me because I bought the first 4. So thank you, Marvel, for having to start right after the first 4.
You looking at this is Mayday Parker.
Yeah.
You collecting any Spider-Girl, Dom, or not
I will eventually at some point. If they ever get around to volume 1 for the Modern Era Epic Collections, I'll definitely... I think how I'm going to collect Spider-Man before J. Michael Straczynski is doing it in epics, because it just seems like the smartest way to go about that. I like that they're all in that blanket, and I don't have to worry about, oh, what's going to be in ASM Volume 6 versus ASM by Stern or ASM by who, like Peter David, whoever it is on those titles. So
Yeah, it's
yeah, I
gonna
might
get
have to.
complicated.
So that's why I think I'm going to avoid the omnibus route and go the Curtis route.
Curtis route.
The Curtis route. I like it. That sounds like an interesting maneuver. The Curtis route.
Maneuver.
All right, Star Wars: The High Republic Phase 3, Volume 2, The Hunted trade paperback, collecting Star Wars: The High Republic from 2023, issues 5 through 8 of Phase 3, and Star Wars: The Acolyte 2024, number 1. So, we talked about this last week. I have not read anything of The High Republic, so I have absolutely no help on this.
I haven't either.
I think my friend doesn't like the series because of the way that lightsabers work, like 100 years before 100 years before the timeline of the Acolyte show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on a rant about like, oh, like it's this, and that, and I'm like, man, this looks like fun. It's so different from
Yeah,
the Skywalker saga. I'm willing to try it. I think that's the beauty of Star Wars that most people I don't think tend to appreciate as much, is that you don't have to be constrained to everything leads up to Darth Vader's redemption. I know this is like hundreds of years before that or whatever, but it's super cool to see something out like this, where they're trying out new chances and doing something different with the universe. So,
well, I'll even back you up at that. I mean, that's what is good about, at least Star Wars in the comics and even in the novels before, Marvel bought them out, is like you could go in so many different directions and not have to deal with the Skywalkers. And that's what made it so interesting. And I do like that they're tackling this era. Maybe one day when I have nothing but time on my hands, like Jess, and just constantly can read. That's
my life.
Yeah. and can do this. But yeah, it's interesting. They can crack this code in the comics and the novels. However, in the movies, we still can't get away from the Skywalkers effectively.
It's okay. So are there one or two omnis of this? Just one omni?
There's two omnis now.
Yep,
So
there are two.
I think I might have just I listened to what you were saying about how flexible and getting away from the Skywalker stuff. I'm interested in earlier times and stuff. I could see myself really wanting to read this.
Yeah, I've heard people who've read it outside of, I guess, your friend Dom that has the problem with this with the lightsabers. I haven't heard anything hugely negative.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the series, like from my Star Wars buds, besides the one person I know.
Good.
So
okay, that's great. Okay.
I think we're all positive on this next one. Superman Supercorp trade paperback. This is the beginning of the Joshua Williamson new era of Superman. This collects issues 1 through 5.
If you are a fan of the Superman animated series, if you are a fan of fun pulp, and if you are a fan of good status quo changes, this is the book for you. I think this is Williamson's biggest splash at DC. He takes chances on putting characters into different situations and has particularly strong voices for plenty of them. Like his Lois Lane is my favorite Lois Lane since Rucka did his
Enemy of the People.
Yep. Since he did that 12-issue series, I think his voice for Lois is particularly strong.
Wow.
And, how he incorporates Lex Luthor, Mercy Graves, and everybody else into the fold. It is wonderful. Like, you will have such a fun time reading this run. And Jamal Campbell is the perfect person to mix in with this. I love his art on Far Sector. He's going to be doing this Tana book soon. But he's great in this as well. So
yeah, this is a great jumping on point. I can't say anything, other than echoing what you both have said. This is a great series. It has continued to revive, because there was a time a year or so ago Superman had not, in my opinion, was not swinging for the fences. And think the Warworld saga is what brought me back.
Yep, what's brought a lot of people back into the fold. It's crazy too because at this point last year, because we had 5 different Superman books coming out. You had if you count Batman Superman World's Finest, there's another title that people are enjoying. It was like this series was my least favorite of the bunch, but that wasn't in fault of Joshua. It was just that every single book that DC was putting out that had Superman in it was super good.
Yeah.
Like I can't stress enough that Mark Waid, Brian Hitch Black Label book, Last Days of Lex Luthor. I enjoyed that, and it's coming back next year. I'm very excited by, and yeah, now Dan Mora is on the title, and he's drawing Superman now, and it's like stuff, guys. I cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, Dan Moore is always going to be outstanding on anything he does. So, All right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, Lost Years. The covers. This is an oversized hardcover coming from the IDW series. Again, this is not the story. This is straight, pretty much a book of all the covers, standard and variants. And with this, since The Last Ronin has produced not just some interesting spin-off series, but also tons and tons of variant editions. So I enjoyed the Lost Years series. I've been enjoying the Last Ronin series as a whole. Have you guys read any of the Last Ronin series?
I read the main book. I haven't read any of the spin-offs yet. And the only reason I got to the main book was I was working at my comic shop at the time, for like whatever side money, and there were so many people who were buying Last Ronin for whatever reason it might have been, whether it was like, hey, is this out yet? Is this issue out yet? Because it got pushed back a lot. And there were some people who were trying to find the first printing so they could, get some cash off of them. But I've heard nothing but good things from every single person that has talked about, the series, even the spinoffs. I will get to them at some point. I haven't yet, but I will.
Yeah, The Lost Years is covering and I don't want to, spoil it for people who still haven't read The Last Ronin. It follows the remaining turtle after, like, the years in between. So this would be kind of a prequel series, reflecting back on what that turtle was going through post the reason how he became the last turtle. I see in the chat, Uncle saying, I follow Superman action and since Rebirth, no idea where to pick up, but perhaps this is the place.
Oh, this is, yeah,
that would be the
100%.
place. Yep.
If you're not going to get the Warworld Saga stuff, whether in Compendium or the Omnibus that's coming out next year, get Superman by Joshua Williamson, Volume 1.
Yeah. And I know The Last Ronin, they did a covers-only book exactly like this, so must have sold well enough to warrant the Lost Years getting theirs, so... Tell me a story where the bad girl wins. The life and art of Barbara Shermund. This is a hardcover. This gorgeous art book celebrates the work and legacy of Barbara Shermund, one of the first female cartoonists for humor and lifestyle magazines in the United States, including The New Yorker and Esquire. I recognize the art. Could not have picked out who this was.
Yeah.
Wow. This is cool looking. I grew up with my parents reading The New Yorker, and I would always look at the cartoons. This actually looks really cool to me, anyway, because I grew up with The New Yorker in our house.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if get some internal images from that when it drops, because like you said, I recognize the art. So
the life and art, okay.
EC Archives, Weird Science, Volume 4, trade paperback, Weird Science issues number 19 through 22, and Weird Science Fantasy 23 through 24 in remastered color. So straight from the EC Archives. That is a creepy looking whatever alien creature that is outside that window. I would be closing that and getting the heck out of Dodge.
I can see James putting my face on that creature.
Oh, now you've just given him an idea.
Yeah, I wonder if he can get it done by the end of this stream.
Challenge accepted, James. All right, next omnibus coming from Marvel, the Fantastic Four Omnibus Volume 4. So this is the standard cover. We've got the DM in the next slide, collecting Fantastic Four number 126 through 163, Giant Size Superstars number 1, Giant Size Fantastic Four issues 2 through 4, and Avengers number 127. I dabble in Fantastic Four. I've read a number of the big runs, but this is also a blind spot for me.
After issue 100 is a complete blind spot for me. So I don't know anything what's happening here.
Good thing Dom is the biggest Fantastic Four fan on this stream, so he will tell us exactly what's on.
Oh, I am. You know what the problem is? I only know Fantastic Four, Walt Simonson, and Post. I know nothing before any of this. I am so sorry. If this was a Walt Simonson collection, man, I would have been like, yo, let's talk about this, and that. This isn't that. I have. Listen, Jerry Conway write it. I don't know. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yep. Roy Thomas, Jerry Conway,
Richard Buckler, and John Buscema. Those are pretty good names. Too bad I know nothing of the stuff that they talk about.
But let's talk about this DM, this direct market cover at this point. Thing versus the Hulk. I say this would be rivaling what happened last night at the dumpster fire that was the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul.
What? I didn't even know. I forgot about that.
You're better for not knowing at that. I was on the vodka stream last night, and that took over about half our discussion just because of the antics that were going on.
Oh dear!
by the fight or by Netflix?
It was probably bad bandwidth going on across the board. I heard nothing but complaints about that. Mike Tyson during behind the scenes stuff of showing
he
his butt cheeks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He what?
Mike Tyson showed off a lot of nudity last night.
Yes.
What?
Lot of butt.
What?
Yep. A lot of memes are coming out of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, my favorite one is watching if the Super Bowl was streamed only on Netflix next year, and it's just the rotating circle. And it's crazy too because TMZ reported 4 hours before the fight started, hey, don't worry about our servers. We're going to be fine. No one is going to crash this thing down. And then, yeah.
According to stats, 65 million people were tuning in. I just saw that across mine. So.
I love this cover.
Let's talk about something a lot better. Wonder Woman Volume 2. This is continuing the Tom King run on Wonder Woman Sacrifice. This collects issues 7 through 12. So I've enjoyed the series.
I have too. I've really enjoyed it, and I love this cover.
And you know what? I love it when people say Wonder Woman shouldn't be political. I just roll my eyes and say, then you've never been a Wonder Woman fan.
Yeah.
So, have you given this book a read, Dom?
Oh, I've read all of it.
Good.
I even have the most recent issue in my Where is it? Where are you?
That's another one I just read before. It's sad, but it's a nice kind of here's where we stand with Wonder Woman right now. It's a good interlude from post Absolute Power to where
all in, mm-hmm. or the whatever their initiative, whatever you want to call it. So yeah,
nice branding. So, but yeah, you're right. This is a cool cover.
Yeah, I
007 for King and Country. This is a standard hardcover, continuing the run at Dynamite for King Country. Collects numbers 1 through 6.
Philip Kennedy Johnson writes this, and I think that's the only reason to why. Actually, he's not here in this chat now. Booster specifically asked, "Hey, could you guys add this?" And I found out, PKJ is writing it. I know nothing about. I feel so bad for knowing next to nothing about James Bond because my dad loves him. I'm just like,
finally, a book that I know something more than Dom.
There you go. Go on.
I've read all of these 007 books, and all of them have been bangers. The Minister and I used to read these books for Crime Corner, and no matter who the writer was, Greg Pak, Jeff Parker, Warren Ellis, these were all excellent stories, and they don't need to be read in any particular order. They are all just so good, and I really have been pleased with how consistently great these books have been.
Now, I would hope, because I've been collecting them digitally, but I haven't gotten a chance to kind of start reading them through. Are these basically kind of anthology series where you could pick up at any point and be okay, like James Bond should be?
Yeah. As far as an anthology goes, I mean, Philip Kennedy Johnson will have written this, and then Greg Pak will have written something else. Jeff Parker will have written something else. Mm-hmm. Different phases in his career. Warren Ellis has I think a deluxe or an omnibus of his stuff. Mm-hmm. You could stick your hand in the shelf and pull out any book at any point and read it. They have
at least from the arcs, that is.
Yeah, all the arcs are completely separate and not connected. There's mm-hmm. one James Bond, I can't remember who the writer was, that deals with him during World War II. It's sort of like maybe his origin story, but you don't have to read that before you read anything else. Mm-hmm. All of these are separate, standalone, really good books. I don't know about this one, but first of all, I like Philip Kennedy Johnson's writing. I love 007, so I'm definitely going to get this.
I've heard him in interviews. He has nothing but praised his dream of writing James Bond. So I know I like it when people are very passionate about it. A lot of times it ends up working out that I will enjoy it as well. We got Richard in the chat saying, who do you guys think should be the new 007 in the film? Rumors say they're looking at Aaron Taylor Johnson, a.k.a. Craven, for it. I didn't really hate fan casting because I'll not like I'm aiming to ever get it right, but I would like them to. I just want them to choose someone that can carry on the series. You know, I would be fine if they want to go younger and do a younger James Bond at that point, but that's a heck of a commitment for an actor to do.
Yeah, I actually don't. I don't know. I mean, I knew Daniel Craig when they cast him, but I don't know any young actors. I don't know who. I guess you don't want him too young. Like a 20. Unless the idea is, like you said, you get a young James Bond, like when he's first in. Although that's what Daniel Craig was. That was like
Daniel Craig was supposed to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that was only his second kill that we saw.
Casino Royale.
In Casino Royale, yeah. I don't know. I'm not a good person for fan casting, honestly.
Dom, save us. You a good fan caster?
Oh my gosh. Every single fan cast I usually have, people hate, so I'm gonna
he's gonna plead the fifth. So we're no help on this, but he does follow up and ask if any of us read the Blade series by Brian Hill. If so, how was it?
I haven't read it.
I read it. It's fun. It's I really don't have anything else to add besides it's a fun little Blade story.
It's not going to bring anything extra to the character. It's not going to destroy the character. It's just an okay run.
Okay.
So, this I do know a lot about. I have loved the Energon universe, and I loved how they've been building towards the first issue of G.I. Joe, which did come out this week. It is in my read-to pile. I cannot wait to do that after we jump off the stream. Destro Volume 1 collects Destro 1 through 5, and they're doing 2 different covers for this. This is the standard edition cover, and this is the direct market cover for this trade paperback. I really enjoyed this series. Destro's always been a mystery character. I like how they weave his origin into this and where he's going to fit into joining Cobra.
I forgot to ask. I interviewed Dan Waters a couple of months ago, and my friend was begging me to ask him questions about Destro. But I told him.
Nope.
Did you freeze
with-
or did we?
You still
I
with
think
us,
I
Dom?
froze.
Okay, yeah.
I am. Hello. I was gonna say was like I got a chance to interview Dan Waters. And my friend who loves G.I. Joe, loves Transformers, like gave me a whole like list of questions saying, "Hey, can you ask him these?" But I forgot to read Destro before. I only read DWJ's first Transformers arc and Scarlet by Kelly Thompson. I have not read any of the rest. And he listened to the interview. He was like, "You didn't ask him the Destro questions? How dare you?"
I gave you one thing. You had one job, Dom, and you failed. I don't care
But-
what you
well,
asked him. It's about
Dan-
me.
Fortunately, Brian or Fifth of Jack Gaming sent me a Transformers breakdown so I can try and identify who the various Transformers are in the book, because I haven't even really gotten started in this. I'm already confused by the Transformers book, so I'm not I don't
Well,
know.
What I can say for this, they've done something different than they did with Transformers. In this case, they didn't start off with G.I. Joe #1. Like I said, that just came out this week, the first issue of that. What they started with was Duke, and then followed up by Cobra Commander, followed by Scarlet, followed by Destro to build up to, and G.I. Joe is directly connected to Transformers. You see that very clearly in the Transformers issues, followed up with Duke. So they're and Cobra is after Energon, as are the Joes. So
Okay.
So we'll definitely can highly recommend that. This is another book I can highly recommend. No One by Kyle Higgins and Brian Buccellato. Collects the entire series 1 through 10. It is part of the Massive Verse line. Looking at, this is a modern day crime noir. Looking at some killings going on, copycat killings, and the question is, who is No One? Kyle Higgins went all in for this one with a companion podcast with the two reporters on the series, played by Rachel Lee Cook and Patton Oswalt. So
Wow.
he previewed in his recent newsletter that came out last night a lot of the extras in this. There is going to be a special direct market edition just coming from Black Market. The Black Market, his publishing company, that releases Monday night, only 100 copies with a few extra pages, but it is a thick trade. Lots of extras at all the different kind of viral stuff, QR codes, things like that. So if you have not read it, like some good crime noir in the modern era, you don't have to be anything. Even though it's tied to the Massive Verse, this has no direct connection that you have to have read Radiant Black, Inferno Red, nothing like that. It just is part of the universe.
To add on to, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Did you have anything that? Okay.
One other thing I was going to say is this is being put into a major motion picture.
Wow.
Higgins is doing so many cool things over in that. When I finally got a chance to read Radiant Black, because of the deluxe, I was mad at myself. I was like, how did I not get on this quickly enough? And I think it was just because like I had seen issues like 7 through 10 or whatever when I was working in my comic shop. And I was like, okay, well, I can't start out from the front, so never gonna be able to head in. But I'm glad I jumped on. But also to add to the No One description by Chris, it's set in Pittsburgh. And for people who are looking for something that is, because you usually do not have a lot of comics set there, they're usually in a major metropolitan city in the U.S., like California, like New York, right? But I'm glad it's set there. If I also recall, there is going to be a Whatnot by Higgins and somebody else is hosting. They're giving away 2 free copies of the trade paperback to the people who ask them the best questions. So
they did talk about that in the newsletter. You're right. They're doing that, I think, Monday night, when they also put up for sale the 100 issues of their like special version of this trade.
Yes, sir.
So
check
it's
that.
this, and what else is in this Massive Verse? Radiant Black, and what else?
Radiant
Inferno Red, Radiant Red, Radiant Pink. Then you have Rogue Sun.
Oh, Rogue Sun. Okay.
So their big thing is you can read Radiant Black and not read anything else. You can collect some, collect all. They have winks and nods for those of us that do collect everything and read everything, but it is not going to hamper you to just focus on just one of them. They are getting ready to go on a break. Radiant Black just wrapped up their big event called the Catalyst War, so they are on break until March. Rogue Sun wraps up, I think, either this week or next week until March. Because Catalyst War was a full publishing line initiative, and they need a break, and they're playing catch up. So that way, when they come back in March, there will be no more breaks.
Radiant Black number 31 was in February 2025 image solicitations.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, because I have to scroll through all of them and put them in.
Yes, you do.
Guess who got spoiled? Guess who got Catalyst War spoiled?
Oh, you got spoiled. Oh no.
Yeah, this is the one of the biggest cons when you are working for a site that gets information from publishers.
That's true.
You do unfortunately get to see what happens in your books before you get a chance to read them.
Unfortunately, gosh, I hate that for you because that was always that. Yeah. So, well, my question, without revealing it at that point, did you vote, and were you happy with who ends up being the ratings?
I was, you know what? I'll say that I was satisfied.
Okay.
My voice was heard. That's all I'm
okay,
gonna say.
Good. All right. Go ahead.
Just as an aside, James already has the cover done for that Vault of Horror or whatever it was. James, you can send it to me on Facebook Messenger if you want, and I'll show
great.
it.
Excellent. The Sacrifices trade paperback. This is continuing the series by Rick Remender, collecting issues 7 through 11. I have enjoyed this. This is a kind of a wild sci-fi run. I've enjoyed every issue that's come out of this.
I'm really happy with the Giant Generator line of comics and sort of them spraying back in. Oh, we're gonna be doing this and that. I can't wait to see Sacrificiers. I cannot say whatever the name is.
Sacrificers.
I keep thinking there's an I before the E in Sirs though, so that's why I'm. Oh my gosh.
It's all right. We got you here.
Oh, Jess. No.
Oh wow! Hold on, I've got
highlight that man.
Hold on.
I'm doomed. It looks like.
There we go. Okay. Very nice.
Good
Thank
work,
you, James.
Very nice.
Very good work.
Nice. Thank you.
All right.
I didn't pick up on it. It said Omnidog Science. Nice logo. I like the lettering there.
There you go.
Very
You went all
nice.
out, James. Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo, James.
Nicely done. Thank you. Oh, wait. It says in this issue, Omnidog is on a quest to find Chris Balga. While that is going on, Dominatrix of X is in love triangle with Black Cat and Mexican and Stacy.
I am glad I did not get part of that one, Dom. Thank you for your sacrifice.
He put some work into this, man. Wow.
He did. He went all out as James does. So thank you. Thank you, James.
Nicely done, James. Wait, what's this? Okay, yep, that's it.
All right, so we only got one more to cover tonight. Valiant Hero Universe Origins Archer and Armstrong trade paperback, collecting Archer and Armstrong issues 0 through 17. I have not read one Valiant book in my entire career, so I know there are a lot of very big fans of this series and glad to see it's being recollected.
I haven't read the new stuff. I read the old stuff back in the 90s, but I'm glad they're reprinting all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I love two of the artists in that book, Lupacchino and Perez. So
yeah.
Maybe I'll get to it at some point.
One day, like
Maybe.
with everything else in our life, right?
I have speaking of Remender, there is one more of his books I need to finish out because I have all of his hardcovers. I want to do a flex on the people.
There we go. Do that. Jake likes doing his own flexes, so I think Dom, you can do that as well. All right. So before we close it out, what is your all's one pick of the week? What should if you guys are recommending something for someone to pick up, what will be the one to get?
Well, I'm most excited for Harley Quinn, but I'm not recommending that to anybody until I read it. So yeah. What else? Elseworlds I'm looking forward to. Outsiders. I'm really looking forward to Outsiders.
So we got Elseworlds, we've got Outsiders. What about you, Dom? What's your pick
It's
of the
Green
week?
Lantern Corps. I mean, there's no question for me. That was my childhood, and
Yeah.
I got to upgrade from my singles that my uncle gave me to an omnibus. So
There we go. I will be a little different. I'll say Scalped just because I did not get out on the deluxe edition. So when this came back in Omni form and very quickly followed by Volume 2, easy buy for me. I love, like I said, Jess pushed me on this. I read it through DC Universe Infinite and poured through it really quick. So I'm happy to have it in physical format. So.
Oh, awesome.
But good. Well, anything else we all want to share before we bring the stream to a close, gentlemen?
I would just like to say, Jake, if you are out there and spending money into casinos, don't forget to quintuple down on the $100 that you spent on earlier today. He was in the stream earlier. He said, "Hey,
Yes.
I'm 100 down." No, man, you got to make it 500 down. That is how you win in Vegas. You got to keep on putting in those bills until you. Oh, that's it.
And Jordan,
Shoot.
my other co-host jumping in, saying, "What's up, guys? Pop in and say hi. Thanks to you all three running this week's show. We miss you, Jordan. We will see you back here next week." So,
yeah, I'm sad to say we did not get this show canceled, but
we
tried.
But we tried.
Anything can happen in Vegas, okay? And since we aren't in Vegas, like Jess said earlier, that doesn't mean that we can't see what the after effects are of the day spent by none other than Jake himself.
So, but all right, Dom, tell people how they can follow you and plug your lovely site and channel.
Of course. Well, of course, you can find me on my own channel where I am pumping out the overviews and the information and everything that you can get on DC collected editions and single issues and whatever else it may be. You can also find all of the lovely stuff that we talked about on comicreleases.com, where we literally have we're putting in everything. When Webhead said, or when I told Webhead, "Hey, why not run against CLZ and beat them at their own game?" We're gonna beat them at their own game. So we are gonna be 100% dedicated. And also on top of that, it's also updated to the minute. So if you haven't checked it out, be sure to check us out at comicreleases.com.
Exactly. OmniDog.
You can find me on OmniDog's Vault on YouTube, OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram. I have a Discord, and I just yesterday started posting on Blue Sky. So you can find me on Blue Sky, and tonight at 8 o'clock, I am having the young men from the Aussieverse on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on OmniDog's Vault.
Excellent. I will be.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you both so much for stepping in to help me out with this stream. You can follow me on all the socials except for Mastodon. Pretty much on everything at Chris Balga, Blue Sky, Threads, everything
Instagram.
at that point. Instagram. Yep. But if you want to follow me on my other shows, you can follow me at looking up on all your podcatchers of choice.
Podcast.
Yes, the Marvel Alliance podcast. Follow that on any kind of podcatcher of choice, and you can catch our live streams on the Geekverse Podcast Network on YouTube. So thank you all for joining us. Get some fun books out there. Go to Organic Price Books. Use our codes at Braveboys and Braveboyssit. So thank you all, and have a good rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Peace and love.
And balloons.
And balloons.